Hi everyone. I just want to do a quick review uh, slash recommendation for a movie that I really love, um, and for which astoundingly I have not made a video yet. And that movie is Needful Things. Based on the Stephen King novel, and it's from the early 90s, and it's a basically made for TV horror movie. Um, but it's such a great movie. I really love it, and it's also a good example, um, for how some horror movies can actually be uh, um, can actually be rather deep and could actually pass as Christian movies, wouldn't it be for the horror elements? So I've watched some of those movies. The U.S. seems to have a whole industry of Christian movies, of movies targeted to Christians. And I've watched some of those movies, and like 99% of those Christian movies targeted to Christians, they're, oh my God, you know, oh, they're horrible. And they're not Christian at all. They don't. I don't feel like they have any real inner meaning or any deeper meaning, and they don't really have any Christian concepts. It's just to make money. They just maybe they feature some Christians and say, yeah, well, Christians are great and here's a miracle for you or something. And but it doesn't really have any deeper meaning, and they don't usually uh, uh, they don't really have any deeper Christian concepts. And on the other hand, you have a lot of horror movies. You have a lot of movies that are categorized Christian movies, and they don't have any Christian values. And on the other hand, you have a lot of horror movies that no Christian would watch, and that Christians hate on and say, yeah, that's an evil horror movie, evil from Satan or something. But a lot of a lot of horror movies actually have much more deeper inner meaning and much more and you know Christian concepts and Christian values than a lot of those so-called Christian movies. And Needful Things, I feel is really one of those movies. It's a horror movie on the surface, but it really has some deeper meaning, and uh, actually I feel it perfectly describes how the devil, so to say, would actually operate. Of course, if you're not a Christian, uh, or well, I'm not really a Christian myself, but um, I do believe in I do believe in God, and I do believe in Jesus. And of course I also believe that if one side exists, then the other side must exist as well. And I actually see that a lot. I mean, there are a lot of evil people, right? there is no there is no devil, so to say. I mean, yeah, probably there is, but even if you believe that there is a devil, which I do, of course, since I believe in God, I also have to kind of believe in the other side. But even if you believe that there is a devil, then the devil wouldn't actually, physically manifest himself, among humans. He wouldn't walk around, like with a pitchfork and horns, that that's not how he would do it. And of course, that way it wouldn't work at all, because that way he wouldn't be able to deceive people at all. If it would just be obvious, oh look, there's the devil over there, and then no one would be deceived by him, since everyone would see, oh, that's the devil, I better not do what he says, right? So it wouldn't work that way. And of course, there are some religious people, and actually some religious people some religious people not only call some horror movies like this one, for example, they not only call horror movies like a work of the devil or whatever, but even when they don't like someone, if someone has a different opinion, and I'm pretty good at that, I'm pretty good at voicing my own opinion and offending people, because simply because I have a different opinion, and then there's there are some religious people who then go around and even call me, well, they don't call me the devil, but they like say, oh yeah, you're a demon. My mother used to do that a lot. I talked about my mother before. My mother was actually a communist, but she also mixed into that some pseudo religious concepts. So every time I said anything disagreeing with her, she would just say, oh yeah, you're a demon. Every time anybody was disagreeing with her, she would just call that person a demon. So no, these people are not demons. Just because you don't like someone, just because someone has a different opinion, that doesn't make him a demon. And just because you don't like some horror movie, that doesn't mean that's necessarily the work of the devil or whatever. That's not how the devil would operate. The devil wouldn't attack people directly. So he wouldn't actually tell you any displeasing things at all. So all those people who you think are the devil, just because they said something you don't like, they're not the devil. That's not at all how the devil operates. I think he would operate exactly as shown in this movie. And I see this a lot. I mean, I have never seen the devil, but there are of course some evil people, and those evil people are not evil people because they disagree with you and have a different opinion, belong to a different religion or whatever. That doesn't make them evil. But people who are really evil, they will scheme. They will rile people up against one another. They won't go to anyone and say, hey, you asshole, or whatever, or hey, what you're doing is wrong, I disagree with you, or they won't approach a Christian and say, hey, Christianity is stupid. That's not, they wouldn't directly do that. That's not how they operate. They would approach Christians and say, hey, Christianity is cool, Christianity is great, here are some crappy movies for Christians that are total bullshit, but at least they won't contain cursing, and they will make you feel good and make you feel superior. Hey, go watch them, and I'll make some money. Great. But when you're done watching those crappy Christian movies, you know what? Those movies will make you realize that Christianity is really great, and Christians are really superior. Your Christians are the only true believers, and everyone else is a devil. Everyone else is just doing Satan's work, and you are doing God's work. You're great, and they will go around and tell every religion that, and that way. They will rile people up against one another, and there are actually some people who actually do that. And some people who or some organizations that they make a profit out of scheming and out of riling people up against each other. I actually talked about that in one of the recent German videos I did. I made a video about socialism in German recently because of the birthday of Karl Marx, and a lot of Germans were celebrating that and building statues for Marx and stuff and saying, yeah, he's so great. But that's actually how socialists operate. They go to every group of people and basically tell them that they're superior and rile people up against each other. For example, of course, they discriminate against capitalists, but they also target capitalists as well. So when they talk to capitalists, they don't say, hey, capitalists are bad. That's what they tell the working class. But when they target capitalists, they will tell them that, oh yeah, capitalists are superior. And every class, they will tell that they're superior than the other class. And every race, they will tell that they're superior to the other races. Because, then you have different, factions of socialism. And each faction targets a specific group of people and tells them that they're superior to everyone else, and makes them hate the other groups, and riles them up against each other, so that they will fight each other and they will kill each other, and then they just sit back and watch it happen. But I'm digressing. But that's exactly the tactic that is shown in this movie, and it's not necessarily, you don't have to believe in a metaphysical devil, but that's just how and someone who's really evil operates. He will not get his hands dirty. He will rile people up against each other, make them persecute one another, make them kill one another, and then he'll just sit back and watch. And this movie illustrates that kind of tactic perfectly. And it illustrates how evil operates perfectly.